some strong comments out of your results. Growing your business in the current economic environment is a frustrating challenge right now. And this is sort of strange in a way, because we have seen some mixed economic data with an increase in retail sales, but lower manufacturing output. What are your thoughts on this, and what is the impact on your business?
Well, about 2/3 of our turnover goes straight into the mining and the manufacturing industry, and frankly those markets are in the doldrums right now. They have been so for the last year and a half, and I would guess that they're going to be in that sort of state for at least the next 6 months, and probably well into next year.
You had indicated towards the end of last year that you did see that you were going to see things pick up towards the second half of this year. Is that still the case, or are you moving that now to 2011?
I think that was probably a little optimistic, and we're now moving that situation to 2011.
Up until April, things were kind of looking up in a way, but then things turned down in May, and you've attributed that perhaps to the World Cup carnival sort of atmosphere.
Yeah, that's our guess. I mean, I'm hoping that it's not a double-dip recession. That may well be the case, but we're hoping it was just the carnival atmosphere of the World Cup, and that things will pick up, in the next few weeks or so.
And you, unlike some other businesses, didn't really see a positive spin-off when it came to the World Cup.
Not at all. In fact, our customers, as I've mentioned, are mainly in the mining and manufacturing industry, and my guess is that most of them went on holiday during the World Cup.
Let's just talk a bit about the rand and the impact on your business, because obviously with an appreciated rand, it's better for you as an importing business, but at the same time not so great for your customers.
Well, being an importing business means that we charge our prices based on the rand exchange rate. And last year our prices were about 20% higher than they were in the first half of this year. So that's very good for our customers. They're paying 20% less for the products that they buy from us. But of course, when most of our customers are the mining industry, they're getting 20% less for their exports.
And in terms of your mitigation strategy, your rand hedging strategy, are you going to be taking that forward for the rest of the year and possibly also into 2011?
Well, that policy has been consistent for probably the best part of the last decade, and that is that we hedge all of our liabilities. So the liabilities that you see on our balance sheet are in rands and will be settled in rands, and we hedge also about 20 to 30% of our orders.
When you look at the mining industry in South Africa, that's obviously where your bread and butter comes from, and comments from the likes of Merrill Lynch saying that Anglo should split off its South African business because it's high risk. What does that mean for your strategy and for your business?
Well, obviously we're concerned because the mining industry is under siege in South Africa right now. You see these calls from Merrill Lynch. We're unsure, whether nationalisation of the mines is in fact a policy or isn't a policy. We see concerns about the ownership of mineral rights, and I think all of these things add to the uncertainty in the mining industry in South Africa. And of course, as I've mentioned to you, that's one of our major customer bases.
So what do you do in a case like this? Do you divert your strategy into the rest of Africa perhaps, or what is the thought process?
Yeah, we're an agency business, so we have a limited ability to expand beyond South Africa. But the areas that are available to us are African countries south of the equator, and we're already active in places like Zimbabwe. We have been for years. Zambia, as it opens up and mines more copper, and of course in the Congo with cobalt. Tanzania is also an area that we export into.
Now, looking at your earnings going forward, your growth through acquisition policy has continued. You lifted your moratorium at the beginning of this year through your acquisition of Filter and Hose Solution, and that comes into effect just 2 months down the line, really.
Yes, there are some suspensive conditions which will take time to work through, but if they all are worked through according to schedule, then the acquisition will take effect from the 1st of September. So we'll have the earnings of that business consolidated into our results for 3 months this year, and of course we'll have it for the whole of next year.
And you've also kept your interim dividend policy, which is good news for shareholders.
Yes, we've decided to maintain our interim dividend, but then we maintained our earnings, so I think it was a logical decision to take.